As everyone knows here, I've been covering Joy Reid for quite some time. I disagreed on many of her takes. Some of her takes are accurate, though. I will give her that. But Joy Reid can't stand me, so I've heard. And I heard part of the reason why I'm having such a hard time is that Joy Reid has become an enemy of mine. I didn't think she even gave a damn about my little YouTube videos, but apparently it has ruffled feathers. Who knew I had power? I got the power to piss off a very rich former MSNBC anchor. Jesus Christ, with her own show. Kids about what Tim Black's saying on the internets. Who knew? Anyway, Joy Reid made a return, this time on CNN. Here she is on a pen.
I find it rather extraordinary that we are very casually having a conversation about the tactical success or failure of dropping a 3,000-pound bomb or two on a sovereign country that did not attack us. We are failing to unpack or even address, as we're discussing whether or not it was effective how we bombed Iran, whether Donald Trump was correct in saying we obliterated their facilities, and not asking why on earth is the United States bombing a country that did not attack us? What on earth are we doing there at all? And why is it that there is this arrogance in the West and in the United States to say that we get to decide who can have nuclear energy? We get to decide that, and not just decide it, we get to act on it and drop bombs on a country that didn't attack us. We had no business dropping bombs on Iran. And so the question of whether the tactic worked or not, to me, ignores the fundamental moral question at hand. And I think that I'm not alone probably among Americans who are saying that this was something that we had absolutely no right to do.
But they understand that the United States plays an important role in the world. I am thrilled that the United States is trying to police the proliferation of nuclear weapons. Imagine what the world would look like if it was otherwise. And I think that to throw away our moral voice
would still be the only country that has ever bombed another country with nuclear weapons. And let me ask you one question. Why did the Iran hostage crisis take place?
So certainly,
I'm asking you
fundamentalist radicals took over the government who hate the West.
Why did they take over the government? Why?
Because they're religious jihadis who want to eliminate Western society.
They hate our way of life. They hate our way of life.
Or they overthrew the Shah of Iran, who we imposed on Iran because the Dulles brothers, one at the CIA and one at the State Department, decided that the oil beneath the soil of Iran belonged to BP and belonged to us. And when Mossadegh, who was the leader of Iran, the democratically elected leader of Iran, said that we would like to audit BP because we want to know if you are cheating us or paying the people of Iran based on the oil under their soil. And they said, you may not audit us. And then we overthrew him and he wound up dying in prison because we decided that we, in our arrogance as a country, got to own their oil.
And
wait a minute, no, one moment. And so the hatred of the United States had to do with the hatred of the Shah, who brutally repressed the people of Iran for 26 years until he was overthrown within Iran because he was not their natural king. They didn't want a king any more than we wanted a king. The bottom line is the arrogance of the United States' foreign policy. We act as if people act in a vacuum, and that nothing we do has ever led to the hatred of us in other countries. And I'm not saying that hostages should be taken, but you just said because they hate our freedoms. Well, that's BS.
No, they hate the Western world. I want to answer
what is the reaction?
Yeah, let me jump in here, man. Let me just say, first of all, I agree with everything she just said here. I agree with everything, well, almost everything. Most of what she said here, I agree with. And it is very lame that we have these people that make these claims that they hate us for our freedom. That was something George Bush used to say. They hate us for our freedom. They hate us for our freedom. These are dumb things. These are not true. Now, they hate us because we did things that make them hate us. Like toppling and doing regime change operations that installed someone that they did not elect, that we pretty much installed to do the bidding for us, so that we get the outcomes that we want with the oil over there in the Middle East. And that's what it was about. And that's a perfectly good reason to hate somebody. That's a perfectly good reason to want to stop the infidel. That's a perfectly good reason. So I agree with her 100% on that. My problem with Joy Reid, and it doesn't matter if I continue to be blackballed from opportunities and I have people that are too cowardly who are trying to defend their careers or don't want to take a chance on them, brother. Let me say this. My problem is not your position on this issue. My problem is this is the same position you should have had when Obama was in office, the same position you should have had under Biden. It seems like the only time that they have a moral authority or they want to act morally or they want to speak truth to power is when it's a Republican in office. And that's the problem I have with all the Democrats. That's the only time that they're going to be on the side of right is when it's politically expedient. For the most part. And that's my complaint. When Obama was dropping more bombs than any other president, when he was setting records, putting up Kobe Bryant numbers, everybody was quiet. And now suddenly everybody's grown a conscience. In this particular situation, I haven't heard a death toll from Trump. And still, you get on your soapbox now? This is time for the soapbox? You didn't have a soapbox when we did the Afghanistan withdrawal? When Americans were killed? When the embassy got overturned? No soapbox then, huh? And that's my problem with the Democratic Party. Same thing. When Republicans act bigoted, when they go to their conservative roots and act bigoted and they support a Daniel Penny or whatever, you got no problem coming for the necks of the Republicans. But that's lame for me to agree with that, because when it's the Democrats and they're pulling the antics like the kente cloth knee bend over George Floyd. Meanwhile, we got George Floyd's all over the country dying from fentanyl overdoses because drugs have been coming across the border unchecked by Biden, and I didn't hear nothing out of you. You're silent. You're quiet. Now you're upset that we have some people in the country who don't like us. Well, they didn't get here by osmosis. They didn't fly through the ether. They didn't come on space shuttles. They came across the border when the door was open by your former president who you ran interference for and lied about being competent. So that's my problem I have with Joy Reid. And not just Joy Reid, many others too. I try to spread the critique around. Just the more popular Democrats like Joy and Reid are the ones that get the brunt of it. And that's me being as honest. Me being as honest as my memory would have me be at the time. Let's keep going. She's got more to say. Now here she is on the Breakfast Club. I don't even know if I can get away with playing this, but we'll find out later.
Reality of the Joy.
All right, now look. I had to go record this all over because, well, iHeartMedia doesn't like me using the Breakfast Club's clips. Sometimes people that make content, you know what I'm talking about. They hit you with the joint, you got to take it out with the content removal. So that's what we did. So look, here's the conversation in a nutshell between Joy and Reid and Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club. It was about 2 or 3 minutes of Joy and Reid playing the saint and denying that she had any idea that she was going to lose her job at MSNBC. She said she was blindsided totally. She never was given any warnings. Things were going fine. She thought she was great, amazing. And then all of a sudden they pull the rug from underneath her feet and she falls into the unemployment line. She don't know what it could have been. She said her ratings were down, but everyone's ratings were down, she says. Then she goes on to say, I think, or she believes, she may have got let go because, well, she was treating Palestinians with love. Or she was treating Palestinians like human beings. Or she was being compassionate to people in Gaza. Something like that. And she said that may be what it was, but she really doesn't know. So that's pretty much all it was. 2 to 3, 4 minutes of Charlamagne the God being really nice and agreeable with Joanne Reid, and Joanne Reid being a saint and saying she was a fighter for the people. And because she's got such a big heart, MSNBC let her go. So that's pretty much all it is. Now we go back to the clip where I was talking from yesterday with the commentary from the rest of the clip. Well, look, guys, we really won't know why Joanne Reid was fired from MSNBC unless MSNBC wants to tell us. And even if they tell us, we won't know if that's accurate or not. Yeah, because they could just be saying whatever they want to say. Damage control is important, right? But I find it very interesting that there was no accountability at all taking Joanne Reid here. Yeah, Joanne Reid was making a whole lot of money, and the ratings were not all that good. And if you say everybody's ratings were down, you are still admitting your ratings were down, right? That's still a factor. It's not like you were killing it, and they let you go. They took their best player out because they had a couple of segments with Ta-Nehisi Coates. I mean, it only came on once, right? I mean, were you that much a voice for Gaza? I can't imagine you being that strong a voice. I don't recall it being so out of pace. But okay, let's say that had something to do with it. I don't think it was everything to do with it, sister. I just don't. Joanne Reid is such a polarizing figure that it's very difficult for MSNBC to try to get some of the Trump audience, not just Trump. Everything always comes down to Orange Man bad. Nah, some of it is the country's going another way. And people were tired of your bullshit, okay? You're tired of the same old, how many... MSNBC obviously wanted to change the tone of the network. And part of changing the tone of the network was getting a pit bull under control. And you were the pit bull. You were the main person going at Trump every night. Everything centered around Trump. You and Maddow, every second, every day, was taking a dig at Trump. And that's just not where the country is right now. So now they got people that are a little less confrontational, a little less right to go to war with Donald Trump. Jen Psaki, which is a far cry less of an attacker than you. Then they got Simone Sanders and Michael Steele. Once again, definitely not going to go hard in the paint as much as you did. So, yeah, I think it's more of a corporate brand, a less vicious, less polarizing, entity than you represented for the entire network. And I think from a money perspective, from an investment perspective, MSNBC made some changes, not just because you defended Gaza. It's like, once again, they get up on their high horse and want to claim that they're we're the moral people. Nah, well, not so much. Not so much. There should be some accountability from you. I just don't imagine you being amazing and then being like, well, we got to get rid of her, though. We just got to get rid of her. We just got to. And then that be a discussion. So if it was Gaza, like you say, why not get an ultimatum? Get what I'm saying? Like, if it's just this one thing and that's Gaza, why not be like, hey, yo, chill on the Gaza? Or your Gonzo? And I think if you were killing it, if your ratings were so great, and you were so amazing, and it wasn't time to part ways, they would have given you that opportunity. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And the fact they didn't give you the opportunity to tone it down a bit says something. Says maybe they just wanted to make a change at the quarterback position. And like we say in all great things, all good things come to an end. And maybe that was just your time for it to come to an end.
I mean, ain't y'all ever wonder if he even deserve any of this shit?
Deserve got nothing to do with it. It's his time, that's all.
I do believe that there were way less talented people at MSNBC than Joanne Reid. I mean, I disagree with a lot of her politics because I remember who she was when she was taking out Hillary Clinton before she got this MSNBC job. She was a different person. She got an MSNBC job, and she slowly became something that she wasn't. But yeah, I think that Jen Psaki, I think she's a DEI hire. So is Michael Steele. These people are not good at what they do, in my opinion. Yeah, and same thing with Dana Bash. Ugh. She had DEI hire. These people are not good. Andrea Mitchell. These people are not amazing at what they do. I'm just saying, there are a lot of, I know it's CNN, it's different networks. I'm just pointing out, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit in the cable news business. Joy Reid, she's back for better or for worse. Joy Reid will not be in a bread line trying to feed her family. She's a rich lady. She's doing well. It's our broke asses we need to be worried about. Joy Reid is good. She'll write another book during her hiatus while she decides where she would like to take her talents. If she'd rather take them to South Beach, LeBron James style, because, yeah. Try not to cry too hard for Joy Reid, Argentina. She good.
How my hair look, Mike?
You look good, girl.
Perfect. You made it to the end of the video. I appreciate you. Now, Google thinks this next video is going to be perfect for you. It's right up your alley. So click the next video, watch that with me, and let's keep this politics going. You're built for this.